The Great War raged between Imperia and Nordok. The Imperial Emperor sought to conquer Nordok once and for all, but the barbarian king resisted. His was the only land to withstand the power of Imperia. Sensing the impending danger, the Affinity Gods strove to stop the senseless brutality with storms of wind, rain, and fire. But man's destiny would not be denied. Violence had again awakened the powers of chaos. The Dark God was reborn. His unmatched fury laid waste to both armies. All seemed lost. Drawn by the eternal conflict, the legendary warriors of light, the Valkyrie, joined in the battle. But even they were no match for the Dark God. In a final desperate act, the Affinity Gods lent their strength to the Queen of the Valkyrie. Her sacrifice banished the Dark God once again, but it came at a great price. The Valkyrie were all but destroyed. The few survivors of that terrible day vowed never to let darkness rise again. Imperia's army withdrew from Nordok, and a temple was built over the corpse of the Dark God, sealing its evil inside. Soon, Nordok and Imperia forged an uneasy peace, which brought about a return to an old way of life, the gladiator games. Arenas were constructed in all the lands, where battles were fought to entertain, not to conquer. In time, humankind's memories of the past darkness grew dim.
Alright guys, welcome to Gladius. I am Solemn the Gamer who's bad at games. I don't know if there's actually a lot of playthroughs of this one on YouTube, so I figured, you know what? I'm gonna at least play it and see if there's interest. I don't know how much interest necessarily, but... Oh, no, we're not doing that again. But, if you guys are really interested in watching this, I will play it all the way through. This is one of my favorite games of all time, as seen in my top 10 games list. But I also understand fully and completely that, let's just turn these down a little bit for reasons. I understand that strategy games are kind of hard to watch sometimes. So this one being mainly strategy with a little bit of story, I can understand not wanting to necessarily watch it. Now anyways, this is a game where they give you a character selection. But this is like, for one thing, I feel like this is backwards. I feel like the easy character should be on the left and the hard character should be on the right. But they have that backwards. But basically you're deciding, do you want to be like a Nordok barbarian or do you want to be an Imperial, as mentioned in that cutscene that I let play for you guys at the start. It really doesn't matter because you have to go to all of the lands anyways, but these guys I think have a little bit of a longer travel and that's what makes them advanced. They have to fight more advanced gladiators at the start. These guys are actually a little more interesting, but I played them second. So I think we will play as Ursula just because she's the easier one, so you guys can see that one, and most people would pick Valens to start with. And there's a few other reasons why I make that decision I might go over a little bit later.
A prophecy of Nordog's mysterious witches, the Galder. held that the Lord of Darkness would return with the aid of a girl born beneath the full moon under the stars of the Bear. But as the witches awaited the Dark One, the barbarian king's wife gave birth to a healthy male child, Erlin. The prophecy had not been fulfilled. Angered by their needless intrusion, the king banished the witches. Once again, the pains of childbirth gripped the young mother, and a second child was born, a female child named Ursula. When the king looked into the child's eyes, he knew he could not give Ursula to the witches. He gathered his wife and newborn children and hid them deep within the Sloane Forest. The children grew up in seclusion. The outside world knew Ursula only as Erlin's younger sister, not his twin. The witches need never know what they lost.
Alright, so I'll touch on this briefly right now. If you're playing as the nerd dog, like Ursula, you get Ursula and Erlin to start with. If you play as Valens, then you get Valens and Ludo to start with.
Sister, please stop. You'll embarrass yourself.
Come on, Erlin. You aren't afraid, are you?
Of course not. But I don't know what you're trying to prove, little one.
Stop calling me that! Let me show you what I can do.
You have nothing to prove to me, Ursula.
I want to get out of here and see the world. Take me with you to the tournaments.
Father would never allow that. It's his decision.
Not anymore. He's putting you in charge of the school.
What? Really? Me?
Yes! He sent for an old friend from Imperia to be an advisor, but he's turning control over to you.
It must have been my stunning performance last week. I was unstoppable.
So now you have to help me get out of
But
here.
I couldn't possibly.
Yes, you can. It's your decision who goes to the games now. I challenge you to a fight, brother. If I defeat you, I can join your school. If you best me, you'll never hear of this again.
Promise?
I swear on grandmother's necklace.
All right. Then let's get this over with.
Alright, so either way you get the same advisor, this guy, Eustace, who I call useless, but regardless, he advises you no matter which faction you pick. Now, I'm gonna go just mention briefly, I'm able to do this.
I'm not going to hold back, Ursula.
I'll cover it in a second,
I've been
actually.
practicing. You won't need to.
This game is on GameCube, Xbox, like the original Xbox, and PS2, I believe. I'm playing it on a GameCube because I got a GameCube for Christmas, and using the Genki control that Media got me for my birthday last year, I'm able to actually record it. So, we'll see how this goes. Anyways, move cursor over your opponent, press A. Derp. Improve the power of your skill by pressing A. Aim for the red zone to do the most damage. My timing was off.
Lucky blow.
Are you getting worried yet?
Hardly. For Nordog!
Now when he's doing 8s and I'm doing 2s.
Survive this!
I didn't do that.
What was that?
It appears that even the gods are against you today.
I'm done playing with you.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Stepbrother, why are you done playing with me? Oh, she dodged. Alright, let's see if I can do this now. Alright, that's a bit better.
Now what do you have to say?
It does seem like the gods were with you today. I can't argue with that. You won.
So I've earned a spot on your team now.
Well, that depends on whether or not Father truly gives me control of the school.
He will. And you can't back out on me now, Erlin.
The graphics do have like a GameCubian aesthetic to them, but I still think they're pretty good for the time, even though the characters don't move much necessarily.
Did you see that? Yes, Eustace, my old friend. It's getting harder for her to contain her secret gifts.
Do the witches still search for her?
Aye. The Galdar still seek the one who will fulfill their prophecy and bring about darkness. I will not give my daughter to the witches. That is not Ursula's destiny.
But you cannot keep her sheltered forever.
She will never be safe outside of these castle walls. If the witches found her...
Your daughter must learn to protect herself.
No, her family will protect her. I will protect her.
But you will not always be around, my gray-bearded friend. I can train her to defend herself. She alone can truly protect her secret.
This is a dangerous land. She is not ready to face it.
She can safely build her confidence in the Nordag Games. Fighting alongside Erlen will strengthen their bond. Someday Erlen will be king, and he will need Ursula at his side.
I have pondered this many times over the years, and I have never convinced myself to let Ursula leave. But what you say rings true. She does need to learn on her own. I do not like it. But I know of no other way to protect her after I am gone. Old friend, you must train my daughter. Within her is the power of a painful past. I only hope she is strong enough to survive it.
Alright, forgive all the loading screens, it's just how it was back then. But yeah, this video is taking place on Thursday. It kind of counts as a Throwback Thursday because this was made in 2003, which is retro by some people's standards now. But Throwback Thursday was kind of running a little thin on me. I don't really have too many more retro games. If you guys want to see more of this one, sing out in the comments.
So you want to fight in the games? Do you have what it takes? I am Eustace, and your father has asked me to train you. Follow these simple rules. They will help you master the art of the battle.
Because I don't mind playing through this whole game, but I need to know that there's people that are interested in seeing the storyline and gameplay. You can now begin your instruction. Do you feel you know enough to skip this lesson? You'll let me skip training? It's been a while since I played. I'd better do the training. White circle, rotating around you is your cursor. It's a primary tool. Yep. Control stick controls cursor. Yep. View centers on the cursor. Okay. You can rotate the camera using the C stick. Yep. Practice moving the cursor in the camera. Press Y when you're done. Woo! Okay, done. Now that you understand the cursor and the camera, let me teach you how to move around. Basic movement's easy. You need to move the cursor and press A. Move to that space. Okay. Excellent. You may have noticed the arrow on the ground. This indicates the path you'll take. Yeah, I know all that. Dark squares around the cursor show areas where you could target with an attack if you were to move to that spot. Watch what happens when you put a cursor over near an enemy like this. Notice the orange circle at the target's feet indicates that you can attack the target during your turn. If you press A when the cursor is over a valid target, you will move to your target and attack. Unless you're already next to your target, in which case you'll just attack. Try it now. Is that all you got? That strange bar with the line that moved along its length is called the swing meter. The swing meter lets you control the strength of your hits. Ideally, you want to press during the red portion near the end. It'll give you a critical hit for extra damage. Pressing the button too early results in a normal. Pressing the button too late is a sign of a slip, an overextension, or some other mistake and results in a weaker hit. If Erlen will be a good sport, please try to hit him again. Keep trying until you get a critical hit. Oh yeah, because I didn't before, right? Very good. I want to talk a little more about moving to attack. There's only so far you can move during your turn. You can only attack enemies within this distance. You can select a destination that's farther away. You can move in a turn. You will move the excess distance while others act. If you have not yet arrived at your chosen destination, by the time your next turn comes up, you will be given an option to continue. Choosing to continue will take up your next turn, come up more quickly, or will make your next turn come up more quickly than it would if you tried to move the remaining distance with the move attack command. Erlen, please move out of Ursula's attack range. You don't have to ask me twice. Ouch. Kind of speeding through this. It's more of a refresher for me. You guys kind of get the gist. There, you see he's not a valid target. The practice post, on the other hand, is in range. Watch what happens when the cursor is put next to it. Do you see the sword and arrow icons above the cursor? Yes, they mean that you have a choice as to whether or not to whether to simply move to that spot or move and attack. Press A with the cursor next to the practice spot. Boop. Notice that the icons have moved, indicating that you have a choice. Either move to the spot with the arrow icon, or move and then attack the target with the sword icon. With the cursor over the sword icon, attack the practice post. Oops, I did a slip that time. I think there's a slight latency thing with this game key thing that I'm just gonna have to learn to get used to. You may continue to practice attacking the dummy for as long as you'd like. Simply press Y when you're done. Done.
Well, that is enough of the basics. It is time to test your mettle.
Finally, I grow weary of this sparring match.
I think you've just had enough of losing to your little sister.
Bah!
I'll try to keep these to like to around the half hour, like 25-minute, half-hour length, if we continue this on. It's not a super long game, it just takes a little while in small chunks, so I would expect at least a 10-part series if you guys are interested in seeing the whole thing. It is an interesting game to me, but I do understand if people don't want to watch, but you'll have to let me know. I feel the spectacle of the royal family and the... Yes, it would be better if you honed your skills away from the prying eyes of the court. I'd also like to get a copy of Custom Robo and play through that one for you guys.
Finally, we're out on our own, away from Father's watchful eye. It's like when we were kids going on make-believe adventures in the Sloan Forest.
I wish it could be like that again. We didn't have a care in the world. Not like now, where I'm constantly sitting with the court training to be king.
At least you have something to do. Sometimes I feel like a prisoner in the castle. Father never lets me do anything.
We should take advantage of this time away while we can, before Father changes his mind.
You know, even though we just left, I feel like everything is more alive outside the castle walls.
Ursula, you exaggerate. But I am excited about running the school.
Me too. It will be another adventure for us, just like the old days.
But we must still be careful, sister. For Nordog is a dangerous place.
I know, I know. You'll always be here for me, Erlen, whether I need it or not.
I'd like to get one more match in before the end of the video, and we're kind of running up on my self-imposed time limit, but we'll have to see here. Phew, that was a long walk. It really wasn't. Really, it seemed to take no time at all, because it really didn't. I'll try to cut out a lot of these loading screens whenever I'm not talking.
This is where you will register for League battles. Each location that hosts official battles has a League officer. His job is to manage the interactions between schools and leagues. Chell.
Welcome, Erlen and Ursula. Allow me to walk you through the registration process.
From this office, all competition in Fluic is controlled. Your goal is the best thing of our local tournament. If you are successful, your school will be given an official certificate of completion. Why do we need a certificate? Because, Ursula, to be a champion school, you must show you have mastered tournaments from many locations. The certificates are needed before you can enter the high tournaments in Kaltha. Kaltha? Bah! I don't see why we need to follow Imperial rules. Nordog has the strongest warriors, after all. Yes, of course, brother, that's why we should beat them at their own game. Let's start by winning the Fluic tournaments. Well, the children of Orin will draw quite a crowd, but we have never seen you fight in the games. All schools must first prove they are competent. The crowds pay good money to view these battles. It would be bad for business if we put on a poor show. Well, I certainly don't want special treatment. What do we do now? Talk, talk, talk. When do we get to battle, Kel? Chell, I guess it was. Patience, please. Let's get your school a talisman so you can start entering leagues. Eustace, take your young warriors through the certification battles, and then we'll talk more of tournaments. Not more training. Well, at least I get to use my weapon. Let's go. This'll be a long day. Okay, so basically, yeah, you'll go into these leagues. Let me just quickly back out here. You can't do the tournament until you've been through enough leagues. You can recruit when you have money and reputation, and history is just not important right now. It's about the specific arena. We'll go into the arena certification, and you can look at details and see, you know, you'll get this much money, you'll get this. You don't require any badges to be part of this arena certification. Almost anyone can swing a sword or axe, but there's more to arena combat than that. Participants in Nordog games must first prove themselves, knowledgeable in the ways of the gladiator. This league will let one earn the talisman of travel for Nordog. So that's what happens when you hit the history button. Alright, so we're going to click on that. You need 6 battle points to beat this league. Each battle is worth between 1 and 6 battle points. The total points needed for a particular league can be found to the right. In general, more points means tougher battles. While you don't have to compete every battle in the league, you will find your popularity won't rise very quickly if you skip too many. So basically, I could immediately finish this by going to the final exam, which I'm kind of tempted to be honest. The practice one doesn't get you anything, and then otherwise you have to do literally all of them. We'll just do a certification 1, and we can attack more next time if you guys are interested in seeing more. This is the formation screen. Here you'll choose warriors from your school roster below and to the left that meet the current battle's requirements. Many battles have strict requirements. If you have no choice, a warrior may be placed in the staging area above left for you. For example, this training battle requires that both of you participate. After you have earned your talisman, we will discuss the finer points of unit selection. Please select Done and press A. The game does a very good job of tutorializing. It's just a little bit drawn out still. This is the placement screen. Here is where you decide where your warriors will stand at the beginning of the coming battle. Some battles have carefully planned starting locations like this training battle. For now, simply press A to select a warrior and then A again to place the warrior on this highlighted battle slot. After each warrior is placed, select Done and press A to begin the battle. If for any reason you're not ready to enter the battle, you may press B to back out and start over. So I'm going to employ my mouse here to show you guys some stuff now. Pardon the gear up in the top left, that's the Genki thing. So we got Ursula's portrait here, and we got Erlin's. Just so that you are aware, each of these guys corresponds to a technical unit type in the game. We don't currently have access to hers, this is just a wolf, but he is the same unit type as this guy. This guy's the basic, and I think there might be female versions, but I'm not sure. But regardless, he is basically just this guy. So, and I don't think I can see which one is placed where right now, so we're just going to kind of do this. It doesn't really matter because we can move them around anyways. Obviously, the tips on the loading screens are useful, but I'm not reading through them because meh. Before we start, I'd like to give you the opportunity to skip this lesson and move directly to the practice session. Whoops. I accidentally did the thingy. I didn't see what he wanted me to do. Alright. So getting back in, basically he wanted me to go to the Empower Self and hit Y. It's telling me the area is the target that I can use it on. Blah blah blah, talking about targeting, which is good. Please activate Empower Self, okay. Skill has some status effects, flashing above your head. See the green plus sign. So yeah, it took some energy, skill points, whatever. Some skills cost lots, some cost less. Alright, let me back up here and twist my targets. Move her over because it doesn't really matter. Should have had him closer, but... Alright. Let's give him a smack. Wasn't a crit, but it was pretty good. He got bit by a wolf. She got bit by an axe. I think that's a little harsher.
For Nordog!
Whoa. slipped. Let me just see if I can. There we go. Whoop. Yeah, like this. This a bit of a delay on my controls is, you know, it's gonna be a slight issue that I'm just gonna have to learn to compensate for.
For Nordog!
That was a little bit too early, but it still got 9 damage, which is pretty good. There we go. So you can see that Vor there is a little bit low health because he started to sag. So the characters do have like a healthy, slightly less healthy, dead kind of aspect. Although Pokemon style, I think technically they're not dead, they're unconscious. Ah, there's a crit. 13 damage. Nice. Now just to reduce DPS, I think I'll just take out the wolf here. Okay, wolf is done. So now it doesn't matter who he beats on, he can't possibly win. There we go. And then Erlen should be able to finish him off so long as I don't screw up massively here. I screwed up massively, but he still did it. Alright. Alright, got 100 Dinar, I think they're called. Some experience for both, that's good. Alright, so I have 2,600 Dinar. Now I wonder if I back out, if I can recruit somebody yet. Probably not. Oh, I can. So I'll just show you guys the recruiting screen. This is the recruitment area. Here we'll find a variety of warriors ready for battle. There are 2 hiring methods. First, you may temporarily recruit a warrior for a single battle. This is the cheaper option, but you will not be able to give orders to these warriors in battle. They're mercenaries and fight for themselves alone. Temporary recruits are quite useful if you need a particular type of warrior for a single battle. The second method of recruiting requires that you buy the warrior's contract. In exchange for loyal service as long as you require, you must equip and support this warrior. Permanent recruiting is the way to grow your school. As you get stronger and more powerful, it will be easier to draw stronger recruits. Should you decide you no longer need the services of a warrior, you may expel the unit from your school. Most of the time, you'll be able to re-recruit that unit again, should you desire. So yeah, I could get a wolf, I could get another barbarian guy. Bandits are kind of like sneaky, they really have no HP though. Like if you compare, they're even lower than, like the wolf is the strongest of the 3 up top here. Gungners are excellent though, they're ranged units. Both of these guys are Gungners. You see you got a male and a female icon. She is apparently better, even though he does more damage, because she's more accurate, and accuracy is important with these guys. You can also see, and again I'll employ my cursor here, this is an affinity to a magic type. We can talk about that later when it comes up. But anyways, I'm not going to recruit anybody just yet. It was just interesting to look at. If you guys want to see more of this game, make sure you let me know. It would just show up on Thursdays as kind of a long play scenario if you're interested at all. If you're not, you'll only see maybe like 3 episodes of this, and then I'll move on to the next thing. And regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed checking this out, and you see some quality here, because I'd love to play it for you. And until next time, guys, bye.